We know that carbohydrates tend to increase blood glucose as well as insulin.
Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats are three essential macronutrients that the human body needs to function properly. Among them, carbohydrates serve as the body's primary energy source, found in a variety of foods such as fruits, vegetables, grains, legumes, and dairy products. Composed of sugar molecules, carbohydrates are broken down during digestion into glucose, which fuels the body's energy production and supports overall bodily functions. While carbohydrates are essential for a balanced diet and play a key role in providing energy for the body, not all carbohydrates are beneficial. Certain types, especially when consumed in excess or in highly processed forms, can contribute to weight gain and negatively impact overall health. Refined carbohydrates, like white bread, white rice, sugary cereals, and pastries, undergo processing that strips away essential fiber and nutrients found in whole grains. As a result, these foods cause a rapid spike in blood sugar levels, leading to a surge in insulin production. Over time, regularly consuming large amounts of refined carbs can contribute to weight gain and elevate the risk of developing type 2 diabetes. Carbohydrates with a high glycemic index, like sugary drinks and snacks, cause sudden spikes and crashes in blood sugar levels. This roller coaster effect can leave you feeling fatigued, constantly hungry, and craving more sugary foods, creating a cycle of excessive sugar intake that increases the risk of obesity. However, there are healthier ways to consume carbs. Sometimes, the best solutions are so simple that we overlook them, and these safer alternatives tend to follow a similar pattern. Today, we will discuss carbohydrates' effects on other things and their ability to improve the glycemic index. As highlighted, carbohydrates are a major cause of high blood sugar and insulin levels.
And that hormone insulin is really important because that's what tells your body to store that calories.
These calories can be stored as body fat. Therefore, if we want to lose weight, we want to reduce this effect. This is why many people follow low-carb diets. However, many factors influence how well carbohydrates work and how much they raise blood sugar, called the glycemic index. Certain types of carbohydrates are more likely than others to raise blood sugar, which is easily measured using the glycemic index. Carbohydrates. The first and most important factor is the total number of carbohydrates, well known to carbohydrate counters. For example, an average North American consumes 200 to 300 grams of carbohydrates per day, while low-carbohydrate diets are variably defined, ranging from 50 grams per day to 130 grams per day. The ketogenic diet typically involves consuming less than 20 grams of carbohydrates daily. However, this is just one of the factors. Net carbs are the second factor. You take in total carbs, and fiber is subtracted because fiber is not absorbed by the body. So, if you consume 100 grams of carbohydrates but 50 grams of fiber, those 50 grams are not absorbed, as the fiber mostly moves through your gut and is excreted into the stools. The third factor is food order because it tremendously affects how high your blood glucose and insulin levels go. No one has ever considered the order of eating some things together, but eating carbs first versus eating carbs last can have almost double the effect on blood glucose. The fourth topic we will discuss today is what other foods you can consume with those carbs to blunt the effect on blood glucose. You will appreciate those things.
In Japan, they like to look at rice because that's their main carbohydrate.
Studies have shown that the glycemic index can be lowered by combining rice with other foods compared to consuming rice alone in meals. Two things are important. One of them is vinegar, and it turns out that when you add vinegar to rice, the glycemic index drops significantly. Sushi rice averages 59, and white rice averages 100. Another thing to remember is that eating processed foods, very common, such as pickles, will lower the glycemic index of white rice to 75. For example, eating rice and milk lowers the glycemic index because whey protein stimulates insulin. It may be bagels mixed with milk. They also look at soy products because soybeans, natto, and miso are made from soybeans and are still consumed. When this soy product is consumed with lemon juice and carbohydrates, the effect on blood sugar will decrease. It has been observed in many studies that the glycemic index of carbohydrates can be reduced considerably by 40 to 50% just by adding lemon juice, which is striking considering the same total number and type of carbohydrates consumed. How can adding acid like lemon juice make such a difference? The answer is hidden in the mechanism by which our body digests starch. There are two key enzymes to be aware of: salivary amylase in the saliva and pancreatic alpha amylase. Amylase is an enzyme that breaks down starch, a chain of sugars like glucose. Starch must be broken down into tiny pieces before it can be digested. When we start eating bread or other carbohydrates, the salivary alpha amylase works to digest them. This enzyme remains active in saliva as far as the stomach until the pH drops to about 3 or 4, at which point it becomes inactive. As the stomach pushes the food out, the pancreatic enzymes are activated, and digestion continues. In the past, it was thought that the pancreas did most of the work because of chewing and less time in the stomach.
In regular meals, as you're eating, the pH of the stomach actually goes up to about 4.5 to 7.
It may take 1 to 2 hours to return to the range where amylase has been eliminated. This means that 60 to 80% of the starch in bread can be digested before reaching the pancreas. In a study titled Acid-Induced Reduction of the Glycemic Response to Starch-Rich Foods, the researchers investigated the salivary alpha-amylase inhibition hypothesis. They did different experiments on bread, pasta, and gluten-free bread to understand the chemistry of these foods and how much saliva would be enough for their breakdown. The researchers mixed the foods with saliva, chopped them up, and added water or lemon juice to test the digestion process. This was done outside the body or in vitro. Bread produced the most considerable results. During the analysis of the amount of starch that had been digested into smaller segments, less than 50% of it was found to be released when lemon juice was added. The lemon juice effectively blocked the salivary alpha-amylase, preventing starch digestion. As a result, the body could not absorb the starch quickly, gradually increasing blood sugar levels. Vinegar and bread have similar effects. As found in the study, vinegar supplementation reduces glucose and insulin responses and increases satiety after eating bread in health program. In the study, participants were given bread and tested with different concentrations of vinegar, low, medium, and high. Researchers measure blood sugar and insulin levels. The results were surprising, showing a dose-response relationship. The more vinegar in the bread, the lower the blood sugar and insulin levels. It is possible that the bread is not fully digested, and the body cannot absorb the simple sugars broken down. Additionally, the combination of bread and vinegar increased satiety, making people feel fuller and less likely to eat more. The bottom line is that consuming naked carbs, meaning carbs by themselves, is not ideal as it exposes the body to maximum glucose and insulin responses.
In fact, the best thing is to add a little bit of acid, which is going to inhibit the digestion of the foods.
It reduces the amount of carbohydrates absorbed. Fermented foods containing lactic acid, vinegar with acetic acid, or lemons and lemon juice with citric acid can achieve this benefit. By incorporating acid with carbohydrates, a significant improvement in lowering blood sugar levels can be observed. Eating naked carbs was a common mistake for individuals following an ultra-low-fat diet. With this practice, they could have ended up eating simple carbohydrates like white bread and jam that can suddenly raise blood sugar and insulin levels, followed by increased hunger shortly after. Considering the physiological response to carbohydrates is vital, as are the 4 key factors that influence it: the total amount consumed, net carbohydrates, food order, and what is consumed alongside, particularly acid. Carbohydrates play an important role in physiological responses, and understanding how to optimize their effects can be beneficial for overall health. If you found this video helpful, like it and subscribe to our channel. We offer health tips regularly, so do not forget to press the bell icon for timely updates.